Very good morning to you, right live from the KICC, and we interrupt live programming, normal programming, to bring you something special today. It's actually an intervention for those who are in the motor industry, and that actually touches most Kenyans, whether you're in the public transport industry or just a vehicle owner, and you have day-to-day challenges. Well, there is an intervention that will be coming to your way today and unveiled thanks to Skytop Technologies Limited, that generally works on giving interventions and solutions technology-wise. And today, it's for you, the motorist. And in this room within KICC, we have representatives from the spare part dealers industry, and also those who own garages and even fix cars on a day-to-day basis, as well as you and me, the motor car owners. And you know, that's a good number of Kenyans. And even if you don't own one, you probably use one and you have challenges with them. So to start us off and to put things into context, let's listen to some of the day-to-day challenges that we have with our cars.
World today has many challenges, especially with motor vehicle maintenance, and also users come up with challenges that they cannot define themselves. Challenges that actually emanate from pricing of spare parts, getting the spare parts, and actually riding to make sure that they enjoy the full benefit of the vehicle. So my first question, and actually I would like to find it from the audience, what your experiences are, so that we can actually unveil and actually deliver a product that is actually conforming and one that will work with you. So I'd like to put out my first question, which is what are the challenges you experience with your motor vehicle maintenances?
And the many challenges we have in the motor vehicle industry, that right now in the 80% of the market, we have a black market. So getting the original spare parts, the original paints, original oil that you can maintain customers' vehicles becomes a challenge, because there's a lot of pirates in the market. And maybe you get a customer from the insurance industries, from the government institutions, you make vehicles. After 2 or 3 days, you realize there's a challenges that the vehicle is not maintained to the standard required. So sometimes we lose a lot of money because of now we don't know where you can get the right materials, the right particular item that you require to maintain the customer's vehicle to the standard required. And it has become a challenge in the market. And I wish if we have players like you now come into the market to address these challenges, we as in the motor vehicle industry will be very much happy, and we need your support to give us at least a way forward.
Indeed, that does sound quite like a challenge. I remember quite a few years ago, my mom had given me her car. Of course, I didn't know anything about it. I'm driving on the road, then a light comes on the indicator panel, and beneath that car, that light is written, check engine. So I stop the car, I get out, I've learned how to open the bonnet, I open it, like check engine. It's still there. So probably not many of you were that ignorant. However, it is true that there are definite challenges in this industry. So probably someone can share with us what have been your challenges as far as identifying and sourcing the spare parts required for your car.
I think it's all about the professionalism gap that is actually in the auto industry, where from the Wakari sector and also all the way to the dealerships, you'll never get a straight answer of what is wrong on your vehicle until you get to a point where you have to interact directly with the mechanic or the technician, which is actually what inspired me to get in and do what I do.
Oh. Sorry, what do you do?
I'm an automotive engineer. Good. And I repair vehicles and also import parts across the world. I deal as Iguana Auto Solutions, as Sayarati Limited, and also as Viwanda Africa Kenya, where we've managed to bridge a gap that for each and every end user of the vehicle, just a phone call away, we're able to bring in your spare parts within 4 days, guaranteeing that they're genuine parts. And if you're not satisfied with what you have, don't pay for it. Thank you.
That is amazing. Getting guarantees in this day and age, especially in this industry, is very, very difficult. It's been very hard for me personally. The story I told you before was a very long time ago, but even now, I do have specific challenges. For example, just like you pointed out, I do not have comparative pricing of the spares I buy. Again, very many years ago, I had to buy a part for my very old Subaru. On this street, it was 1,500. On that street, it was 4,400.
And just to interrupt here as we continue with the conversation,
Yes,
my director is actually telling me that there are some people who have been thinking about the challenges that we are facing on a day-to-day basis, and that is on car maintenance. And they're actually going through the trouble of making sure that they join us this morning and make us a bit more comfortable in terms of what to look forward to. And I think, if I'm not wrong, if my director is telling me the correct, he drives a Subaru, so he's a bit fast as well in his thinking, and it's a turbo Subaru too. I think, yes, they are actually taking off and making their way here. They've made it, taken the trouble to come here to join us with a way forward on the challenges that we're talking about, and we'll continue talking about. Let's look at that. I'm a bit impressed. I didn't know the SkyTop team has an airline. Apparently they do, and they're making their way here. And yes, as they make their way here, let's continue with the conversation, Hezron.
Yes, I didn't get a response from, have you been exposed to comparative pricing for the parts of your vehicles? If so, what has your experience been? How did you do it? We want to know.
In other words, did you get any challenges with the pricing, knowing the price, knowing where it's available, and how to tackle that? And did you feel cheated on the price at any one time?
One time I did a bit of a shopping. The parts I took the mechanic, he told me this one doesn't fit well, it's not the right one. Yeah, the shop told me this is the right thing. Then I wondered, come on, this guy deals with these parts, but he told me this is the right thing to buy. So what's happening? So he told me, just take it back to him, tell him that they have their own description, I don't understand. I went back there, the guy told me, bring the car here, I'll fit it, and it will fit. Drove the car there, the guy fit, it worked. So I wondered, then after a few days, I think it's worn out. And you remember now, you can now get a replacement without paying for another one. Yes. So I ended incurring twice the costs of the same parts. And then the other challenge is you buy one shop, maybe a small parts cost about 5,000 shillings. With the next shop, it's 6,000. Another guy tells you it's 9,000. The other guy, the same thing, 13,000. Then the other guy tells you, I can get you a nice one from Taiwan at 1,500. Now, which is which now?
Which is which?
I know I'll sound like I'm out of this country because I go to the garages as well, but isn't there a warranty on the parts that you buy?
Even if you get a warranty, I mean, if you use it in the car for a month or two, the thing should have lasted for 2 years. It's gone.
Yeah.
So you can't go back to the guy and tell him that the thing. You tell you your driving skills are poor. Probably you are, if it is a shock, for instance, a shock. You tell you that your driving skills are so poor, and that's why probably your thing is damaged so fast. So you are doomed.
As Isuzu East Africa, we are giving solutions to our customers because we wanted the vehicles to be on the road to do whatever they are doing. What we are embracing technology to do for us in our after-sales business is we want to connect with the customer on a real-time basis. So when a customer needs something, we need to give a solution to this customer immediately by giving the diagnosis correctly to the customer in real-time, issuing the correct quotation for the parts, and connecting with the parts dealers around Kenya and around the East Africa that we serve. So technology is very key because it will enable us to always deliver the parts in good time for the customer sort of their issues, to always real-time sort customer issues as need be when needed by the customer.
We know very well that technology has come to make our work easy. And we are trying to look at best practices and introducing them down in our country. For me, what is being presented here brings about accountability, trust. Very many people buy vehicles today. Every family has a vehicle. So I believe that maintenance part is what is giving them problems. I want to say technology is key to everything now. And I think everybody has got to embrace it. And it's very important that with such kind of technology, we can be able to track and be able to know the genuinity. Because I'm sure SkyTop will never register any person who's not genuine in terms of their products.
As you continue, you remember there's some guys who are making their way here.
Yes.
Let's not forget them. Because hopefully they'll have some answers to the questions that were being fielded here.
Yes.
There's some gentlemen, as I mentioned. I mean, you probably didn't see a lot of it, but they're still on their way. And if my director is still following their route into Nairobi, Mr. Arnold, can you confirm whether they are still en route and we can continue with the program? I believe so. Let's just have a look at their journey as they come.
Everything is in place, sir, and we are ready to go.
Yes, sir. We've engaged everyone.
Indeed, sir. Everything is in order.
All our global platforms are ready to go. All systems are in place and the team will be ready 24/7.
Yes, sir. We can't wait to dispatch.
On top of everything, sir.
And that is, if I believe that gentleman should be Mr. Paniel. Aboard with him as well is some of the management, but we will be meeting them. I believe they're making a descent.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching Nairobi City at 10,000 feet above sea level.
Yes, gentlemen, I hate to interrupt you, but it's a good interruption. Actually, let's call it intervention, not interruption. It's an intervention. As we keep talking about, there's a presentation that you have looking at the general feel of the challenges that we have, and we just had Bwana Kimutai speak about his hopes in the intervention of technology. But yes, we can still cover a bit more with the industry players here.
My name is Selena, and I'm a car owner and a driver. And for sure, we have a lot of challenges. For one, you buy the car because you need to be somewhere. You don't have the time. And so when it breaks down, because I called my husband. And thank God I have a husband. But sometimes he's in a meeting or, and he's like, can you pull it over the side and just, park it somewhere safe? And then he'll get somebody to come and look at it. But there are times I've even messed up the car. I was washing the car and the water got into the, into the engine, and that was the end of that engine. So I didn't know that the water isn't supposed to go there. Sometimes you don't know that you're supposed to, make sure it's well lubricated and the coolant and all that. So I think it's very important how we maintain the cars, and when it breaks down, we need to have information on the right place to go so that you don't incur extra costs and even totally lose the car.
All right. Because of the challenges we experience today, solutions are right here with us. It's just that they've not been implemented, and I think if they're implemented at a very minimal scale. We only do diagnosis and all that. But we are taking it to another level, which we will unveil shortly. But I would like to hear it from the Motor Vehicle Owners Association, Mr. Peter Murima, just to tell us what pain they have from that sector before we actually close it down. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You could take to the stage as well, actually. I mean, you are the chairman of the Motorists Association of Kenya.
We have been groping in the dark when your vehicle breaks down, when you don't know which garage, which spare. But now that we have an opportunity to connect the car owner, the garage, and the spares, we are happy for this. So what are the most of the challenges that we are facing on the ground? Yes, members of the motorists, all of us, we are members by default since we drive. And the challenge is mostly you'll find that we have a problem with unprofessionalism. This is where you take your car to the garage and you're not sure. Sometimes you have to keep on checking instead of going to your duties. I know Canberra have got good garages where you just get your car and walk away and you'll come and pick it at the time. But most of the garages you have to keep watch. So this is one of the challenges because we are having long diagnosis and repairs, and you'll find that even the charges are not very predictable. But in a garage, which I believe Sky Top Technologies will appoint, are garages where you get a job card, well done, where you are able to, your work to be done well. So long diagnosis is a major problem. So if you put the long diagnosis and a long spare part, the modern car is not supposed to break down the way it is made. So all the breakdowns you are seeing are because of a fault somewhere during either a spare part or during where we had the wrong mechanic doing the work. So how can we address that? Yes, we know that even in our Juakari we have very competent mechanics, but again we need to get who are they so that we can get, so they need to be in a list. Who is this mechanic? So that in an app I can easily get which mechanic instead of grouping in the dark, which most of the times we are doing. So if you look at the maintenance, you'll find that we are supposed to have maintenances which are just like you go for the medical checkup. A car is supposed to go to a garage. I believe you'll support me
for
on
service,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, so you go and the vehicle is checked. If it is wiring, mechanical faults, that's the engine, and also body works. Those are checked, but you'll find sometimes we are reminded by the traffic cop along the road that the bulb has burned. This is because of not taking our vehicles to regular. There are three types of services. There is the major, there is the intermediary, and there is the ordinary ones that we do the oil change.
That's right.
So when we look at the roadworthiness of the vehicles, to finish on this, when you look at the roadworthiness of the vehicle, this app will be able to ensure that we are having the correct vehicles on our roads. And this will stop even the trouble we are having with the police very much.
But Peter, I'll have to interrupt you a bit because I think you're speaking as a prophet, perhaps. I mean, we're talking about some gentlemen and ladies who are on their way, and I believe if my director's telling me the truth, they might be, I can hear some sounds of them perhaps almost making their landing, and I actually told the feed, they are actually landing here at KICC. You know we have a helipad. I'm not too sure if you've had the opportunity of using that. And they're landing right now. This feed that we have right here kind of has a delay, but we'll be meeting them in the next few minutes as they make their way into KICC. This is a top management team of SkyTop Technologies Limited. They have approved this product, and yes, in just the next few, I believe they're in this building. And if my director will, just guide me and tell me whether they are ready to make their way into this hall. And yes, this SkyTop technology intervention has been approved and we are good to go. So yes, as you've seen, they touch ground. I'm talking to those who are viewing this, ladies and gentlemen, here at the KICC. They have actually made a way to the KICC, the helipad and what have you, and they should be with us in a few seconds to show us what this new answer to the challenges we've been talking about is. And ladies and gentlemen, here in the building, you can give them a hand. This is the top management of Skytop Technologies Limited, led by Josfat Muridi. He's a vice president. Of course, he's followed closely by Bwana Paniel Moura, the president and chief executive officer, and the top management team, about 9 people. You guys, that was a long flight, guys. You look a bit tired. I'm sorry about that. I hope it's not jet lag, but we have been excited and waiting upon you to show us what this big thing we've been looking forward to. We've been talking about while you were airborne. I didn't know if you could listen to our session here, that this industry and the motor industry has a lot of challenges. We need an answer. Bwana Paniel, what do you have for us?
How are you, Ni? Yes. Yeah, now it has been a long journey, and this is a journey that came as a result of the challenges that we found people who have vehicles go through. I personally have been having a vehicle for the last 20 years, and I know exactly most of you also have been going through similar challenges that I've also been going with my cars. So what we decided to do is to develop a technology, a global technology that will solve all the problems regarding the cars that we heard you talking about when we were here. Thank you very much.
Let's see what you have for us, Bwana Paniel.
Whether it is buying a car and you want to know the history of that car, whether you want to have your car repaired, and you are not in charge of the repair process, whether you send your mechanic or your agent to have your car repaired, and you want to be involved in that process without leaving your office for purposes of accountability, the solution is there for you. We have brought it here for you. And I hereby open it for you to see what it is all about. Thank you.
Let's see it. 3, 2, 1, there we go. Give him a hand, give him a hand. Okay, you probably don't see what it is, but yes, let's give him a hand. Yes, that is it. That is it. Mr. Paniel, are you launching a new phone? It looks like a phone you have in your hand.
It's actually a new technology within your phone. Everything is happening in the phone, whether it's sending money, whether you're ordering a car, Uber, anything. Now you're going to repair the car, you see the phone.
With us here is an innovation that is going to transform how we are managing our motor vehicles. It is an innovation that is going to transform how we manage our repairs. It's an innovation that is going to make sure that our garages are of value and standard. It's an innovation that is going to make sure that the spare parts that are sold in our shops are indeed of quality and a huge repute. With mCarFix solution, I'm therefore empowered to take charge.
I like the way he's saying, take charge. You know, he's put a bit of oomph there. So let's listen from Ted Odera. He's the techie here. And yes, how do we work this through? How do we navigate?
This is the interface. You can see how it looks. This is the interface of it. We have the login button and the sign up. So before you sign up, before you log in, you have to go to the sign up. You click the sign up. You can either register as a motorist, as a spare part dealer, or a garage. Okay? So as a motorist, you just click the motorist button. In here, you'll get fields. The first field, of course, is your full name, which you're able to see. There's the email address, there's a phone number, there's a password, confirm password, and there's an emergency contact. This is very crucial for you to fill, just in case your car breaks down and you're in a remote area, okay? Then you will hit the sign up button, and it will be able to take you to the login screen, whereby you just enter your credentials and your password, and now you're logged in.
Now, on the screen is a platform of solutions that are mapped to our mCarFix application. The car part module enables the registered users to identify a particular part of a vehicle that they want to buy. Take, for example, I want to buy a spark plug. So when I click that button, I'll get the spark plug. But my question is, at what level do we authenticate the reliability and functionality of the car part that I'm going to buy? Next would be a solution to answer that question. Now, that is car part. Probably, Ted, you'll take us through the car part module.
Okay. So, for example, my car breaks down, and I find out that maybe I need an AC clutch, for that matter. mCarFix will be able to show me how an AC clutch looks like, where it's located in the vehicle, how it's used, and many more. If you probably want to find out what are the type of damages associated with an AC clutch, the software, the mobile application, automatically gives you a list of all the type of damages that are associated with the AC clutch. It goes further, and here, it's a very interesting part. You get how to fix. So this is a real-time video that shows you how to fix the specific AC clutch that you've actually selected. So if I click how to fix, there's a video that shows, and we can actually play it, and you'll just see. You can actually play it. Brilliant. It's actually playing. So that shows you how the AC clutch is fixed. And you can actually be empowered. You as a motorist, you'll be empowered to understand how these parts work. Okay?
I mean, this is impressive. Give him a hand. Well, whoever the developer behind this, and I believe he's one of them, this is impressive. Answers a lot of questions. You're sitting there thinking, you can't do this. This is impressive. Changes a lot of how we deal and interact with our cars. And now you are enabled via this mCarFix app that you can download now. Very simple. I'll be giving you the link, but I just wanted you to wrap up really quick on a general view of it, and then give a chance to Bwana Kimtai and Paniel.
Yes, thank you so much, Bana Mark. Now, the next module is how to fix it that I believe has been shown. The reason why the how to fix it module is there, many times we take our vehicles to the garages. A spare part is replaced, but probably a wrong tool is used to fix it. Now, the how to fix it and how to remove it videos will show me how it's done. So that if someone is doing it wrongly, I can say, hello, I think these are the right tools and the right methodology to deploy while removing it. Another important feature that we didn't mention during the registration is that upon registration, a code is sent to your next of kin. So that whatever transactions that you're executing here, a copy is either emailed or text to your next of kin. Security key. The module for garages is here to enlist all the accredited garages. We chose to go with the garages because we cannot trace individual mechanics. So the mechanics themselves will have to register into the system through the garages. So if anything happens to your vehicle, then you'll have to track the garages. Again, during the registration of a garage, they will have to attach their registration certificates from the register of companies. On top of that, if they don't have that, every day, the city council collects revenues from this guy. We want to see the receipt so that we can track the legitimate owners of these garages.
You can actually click on that specific garage that you want. It gives you the location of that garage. So let's say you're stuck, you're on your way to Nakuru, and you're stuck, you can definitely just, at the launch of a button, just call that specific garage and tell them where you're stuck. And in that, the software will have solved your situation at that particular moment.
Allow me to take you to the problem stroke symptoms. Now, that functionality allows you to diagnose your vehicle so that should you see signs and symptoms that are similar to a particular problem that have been pre-configured into the system, then it's going to give you the probable solutions to that effect. There's the service checklist. How many times have we been buying vehicles whose records we don't know? How many times do we hear motorists complain of vehicles whose mileages have been interfered with? Now, with the service checklist, it gives you all these functionalities. One, to register your vehicles. If you've got even 1 million vehicles, yes, the sort of database that we have here is enough to accommodate all that. Assume I don't know when next I serviced my vehicle. When 3 days is due for service, it will give me an alert on my phone and via the email. Finally, or last but not least, among all my cars,
among all his cars, Mr. Kongo.
But do I say? I am in a position as a registered user in this application to generate reports of when they were serviced, which parts were bought, at what cost, from which garages, at the click of a button.
As Art said earlier, the technology has come to make our work easy. And it's not only that, it is providing information. Without information, we cannot be able to actually do what we're supposed to do in the right manner. One thing that has perplexed me is that I would be able to trace a genuine part, and I would be able even to know how it's fixed. This tells me I'll not be given stories about repairs. I'll even know how when I know it's been fixed in such a manner that's shown in the video that was there earlier on, I would be able to, even know the price and the time taken in repairing this vehicle. So actually this is about cost cutting, and it's about providing data. And we in the Matatu industry, we rely on agents and maybe drivers to be able to do work for us. Nature of Kenyans, or human beings, they'll always want to gain out of it. You don't know whether there is a part that has been fixed in your vehicle, whether it's genuine or it's been fixed properly. Now, when I look at the dashboard that has been provided earlier on, it tells me everything. It tells me about the garage. It tells me about where the part has been bought. And I had made a statement earlier on about counterfeit parts. Kenya today is about China, and unscrupulous businessmen go to buy the cheapest. I'm not saying China is manufacturing bad or low quality parts, but it's the unscrupulous men who go there. In China, I've been there. They tell you this one is genuine, this one is a second grade, this is a third grade, this is a fourth grade, any grade that your pocket can allow. And particularly now when we talk about our cars, most of us have bought cars. Today, Kenyan way is, if I have to, I've been employed, the first thing that I want to be seen is having a car, but we don't have information about a car. But this has made it very easy for us. Skytop technology, want to say, keep it up. Sky, it will be the limit for you. I don't have to be a mechanic now to understand my vehicle. It's provided for here. And, when we register accredited garages, then we will be able to maintain our cars. We can tell even Kenya to allow us to import 20-year-old vehicles because we have an application that can help us maintain these vehicles. So what I would want to probably urge Sky Top Technology is that information is key. We need information in the public so that it can be able to come in. And you will be a savior for those who are having their vehicles and they don't know how they're supposed to be maintained. So mine today is to say thank you very much for the technology. Kenya, we are known so much. We are the top in money transfers, M-Pesa. Now we're having SkyTop and repairs and maintaining our vehicles. So I want to say thank you so much and please keep it up.
When
when you are talking here, there's one thing I'm going to assure you about this technology. How many times have you sent your driver to buy a spare part and you feel like following him so that you can actually stand there and ensure he buys what he wants? With this technology, the moment you send your driver or anybody for that matter, and they buy a spare part wherever they want to buy from, at that particular instant, you are informed when the transaction takes place between the dealer and the agent you have sent. And the beautiful thing about it is that when he comes back to you and he brings the receipt, you'll be able to know whether the part he has bought for the car, one is genuine by verifying with the software, and exactly whether it's what it's supposed to do with the car. Because many times we are cheated when it comes to vehicles. We are not going to stop here. We were in the aircraft. The next thing you are going to call us, we are going to be South Africa. We are going to Nigeria. We are going to Ghana. We are launching what we call Uber for motorists. People who use vehicles, motorists themselves. So that the same way you just call a vehicle when you want to travel, just at the click of your phone, in the same way you're going to be doing now when you want to repair your car.
Say it as Bwana Paul Akongo said it, at the touch of a button. So you download it at mCarFix.com, at the touch of a button. Download it. You can verify it for yourself. We're getting into the Q&A session of this. And of course, the audience here has some questions, and let's get into that.
Registration is free and all that. We know Uber charges a certain fee. You as a company, how are you going to make your revenue if I want to come in as an investor?
Upon registration, again, successfully, there is no any charge. So I'm registered, but I've not paid anything. So why do I have to pay anything? I'll probably pay something tomorrow when I'm going to go to the garage. So I drive my car, go to the garage, then I pay. When I want to buy a spare part, when I want to access a particular spare part dealer, and in that case, they'll be paying, any user will be paying 100 shillings per whole hour.
How are we 100% guarantee that this gentleman called the briefcase money laundering, they will go into register from these apps? With the bottom people that we use our craft and our hands and our talent to make those vehicles, we can be pushed out of the market. Simply because these money launderings, they'll register those apps. They'll come up with a good garage. We'll accredit them. How will you help the customers to understand that bottom line?
They say if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go with others. That's why we've involved the stakeholders, so that they may guide us. That's why you are here, and that's why everybody is here.
Second question. We have a lot of sycophants in the market. Recyclings of tools in the market. Recycling of the items. Like you see these shock absorbers. People remove them. They are sprayed again. They spray them. They put a benchmark with the blue or red. They resell it again. If you go to the shop, they show this original. How a lame person will know that this one is not an original spare part? The most complicated things we have in the market is to distinguish, to know the right material to buy and the wrong material.
In this very technology, there is what you call service checklist. There's a very important number that is entered in your car when you're registering your car within mCarFix, so that mCarFix manages your car for you. So in this case, if you feel if the guy who is servicing your car puts free oil worth 3,000, that will take you for 3,000 kilometers, but you paid for the one that would cost 5,000 kilometers. The next time you go for, in your mind, you have now, this one, I can go for 5,000 kilometers. But after some 3,000 kilometers, you start detecting the car has a problem. The beauty thing about this, you entered that mileage into mCarFix. Immediately you did the service, isn't it? Now, the moment you enter your mileage, when you're going for a service, or anytime, even when you're going for a trip, it will tell you what is left. But assuming now the mileage, you enter the wrong number, because the guy lied to you, isn't it? When you go now for service, the oil, you find 8 years changed, isn't it? Maybe it's overdue. Instead of taking for 5,000 kilometers, it has only taken you for 3,000 kilometers. Now that's now where now you start beginning to query. Was I given the wrong fuel? Isn't it? Do you now see? Now the beauty thing, the software will be able to report to you so that you start interrogating the liar. Skytop, welcome. You are enhancing, you are partnering with us, what we believe in, and we stand for professionalization, and we try as much as possible to register garages for the purpose of ensuring whatever is being done in that garage, it is professional, and also for the purpose of traceability. So many garages, you cannot trace them. And when we talk of road accidents, most people just think of human error, the driver's error. We always talk about the driver, the road, and whatever. But we forget that poor workmanship is a major killer on our roads. So we thank you very much. Welcome, and I believe we are going to work together as KEMA.
Thank you so much.